In some houses, silence isn't a sign of peace, it's a weight. Arthur had lived within that weight for 5 years, ever since his wife Eleanor had passed on. At 75, Arthur's world had shrunk to the exact dimensions of an old wicker chair by the front window. He didn't resent people, he just forgot how to speak to them. His children called from the city, quick scheduled check-ins that felt more like a chore than a conversation. Another long day. Just you and me, Eleanor. But even this tea, it's lost its flavor, hasn't it? It was a bitter October night when the storm brought a visitor. Through the roar of the rain, Arthur heard a sound that didn't belong. There, huddled under his porch, was a small, bedraggled creature. It was a mangy stray, gray, tattered, with a torn ear. It looked just as discarded and weary as the house itself. Go on now. I haven't got the strength to look after anyone. I can barely look after myself. He started to pull the door shut. But then the cat's clouded green eyes met his. It wasn't asking for pity. It looked at him as if it recognized a kindred spirit, someone who also knew the cold sting of being forgotten. The door paused, then slowly creaked back open. He named the cat Sunny, an odd name for a creature the color of rain clouds, but Arthur said it was because she arrived when his world was at its darkest. For weeks, Sunny lived under the kitchen hutch, but slowly, the distance between two lonely souls began to close. Instead of staring at the faded wallpaper, Arthur now had a mission, preparing a small plate of warm salmon every morning. You know, Sonny, Eleanor never liked cats much, but if she saw you, if she saw how polite you are, I think she'd have made an exception. Eat up now. I've got stories to tell you. He found himself talking again. He told Sonny about his youth, his unfulfilled dreams, and the bone-deep ache of missing his wife. The cat never replied with words, but she would curl up on his lap, her steady purr vibrating like a second heartbeat against his thin chest. On a cold winter afternoon, the silence returned with a vengeance. Arthur's heart faltered, and he collapsed beside his wicker chair, his breath coming in shallow gasps. As the darkness began to close in, he felt a warm weight against his cheek. Sunny didn't run. She didn't hide. She began to wail, a piercing primal sound she had never made before, and she scratched at the front door with a fury that finally alerted the neighbor passing by. When Arthur returned from the hospital weeks later, the house didn't feel cold anymore. His children were there, and the neighbors dropped by with soup. But the first thing he looked for was a long gray tail disappearing behind the sofa. It turns out we don't need grand gestures to feel alive. Sometimes the reason to get out of bed is simply the hungry cry of a small creature, or the knowledge that you are still needed by someone or something. Sunny didn't cure Arthur's heart disease, but she healed his heart. Love, whether between two people or a man and his cat, shares the same miracle. It gives us the strength to weather the storm, and it teaches us how to smile when the sunlight finally touches the porch again. Thank you, Sunny, for not letting me go alone. You have been listening to A Patch of Sunlight. May we all find our own light in the dark and remember that as long as we can love, we are never truly alone.